welcome to Convos on the Rocks. I am Debra Rocks, and this is my debut show. Convos on the Rocks is going to discuss all type of relationships that affect our everyday lives. And not just dating relationships, but one topic in particular that oftentimes gets swept up under the rug is domestic violence. My guest today is going to tell her tumultuous story and how she became a survivor. Coming up next. Welcome back to Convos on the Rocks. I have my first guest with me, Miss Debra Sawyer, serial entrepreneur. I follow you on social media, girl. You be all over the place.
Yes, honey, yes.
So tell me about all these different businesses.
So I am a massage therapist and also a womb wellness practitioner, helping women that have had issues with infertility or that may have suffered from miscarriages. And then I also am a paparazzi consultant, $5 jewelry, of course, and I sell weight loss products. It's just so many to cover.
How did your love story turn into a nightmare?
One day the switch just went off, as most situations occur. Because starting out, it wasn't a violent relationship, and one day the switch just went off, and it never got better.
So when you say the switch went off, I hear a lot of women refer to it as the switch went off, like it was almost like a night and day. So I guess let's go deeper into let's unpack what did that look like that day?
Anger, rage, violent. I don't know no other way to describe it. Just a bunch of anger.
So like, were you at home? Were you out in public?
We were. It was actually my 21st birthday.
Your 21st birthday.
Mm-hmm. I remember the day like any other day. We were celebrating my birthday, of course, and we got into a little spat. He had my phone in his hand, and I kind of snatched it. We were tussling over my phone, and before I knew it, I was on the floor.
So did you have anything in your phone you was trying to hide from him?
Mm-mm.
So what would make him want to just snatch your phone from you?
Now when I look back on it, it was insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the stuff that he was doing. Naturally, when men become possessive, it's usually to hide something that they're doing. So they deflect and project that onto their partners.
So I guess you said this is your 21st birthday party, and he snatched your phone. Mm-hmm. So that means people are around.
Mm-hmm. Just us.
So y'all celebrating where?
Mm-hmm. We were at a hotel. And he was leaving the room, and I was gonna let him leave, and then he turned around, and we tussled over the phone because he wanted to see my phone. He just knew I was going with this person, going with that person, and...
So were you dating another man?
Mm-mm.
So where would this just stems from, though? Because before it builds up to the point to where he snapped, it had to be a combination of different things that led up to that point.
He was spitting out insults, and at the time, I was very sensitive, so I would just cry, and because I would cry, I guess in his mind, it felt like it was guilt versus, okay, she crying, let me just back up off of her. So, oh, she crying, so let me tear more into her emotions.
All right, we got to take a quick commercial break.
Okay, can you handle it? Okay.
Welcome back to Convos on the Rocks. So when we left off, you was in the hotel room. Y'all was going back and forth, basically about the cell phone, and you were saying that basically his insecurities is what I guess stemmed him to the first snap. Mm-hmm. So let's go into the second snap. The first one seemed kind of minor because it means you stayed. So let's go into the second time.
The second time was when we had moved we had our own apartment. He went through my phone and found some old emails from maybe about 2 years prior to me and him even starting the conversation. And
so why are you holding on to dated emails? And then it seemed like he's looking for something. You're talking about 2 years.
He was looking. He was fishing. he had nothing better to do because that was a daily routine. He would literally, once I would go to sleep, he'd take my phone, go hide in the bathroom for 2 to 3 hours at a time, just scrolling through my phone. So this particular...
So let me just pause you for. So I guess, what was your mental state? Because basically it seemed like he almost was like controlling. He had you like in a box, because if you said this happened every day, like you was used to this. So he get my phone, he go in the bathroom. So like it's almost routine. So what happened if you would have went out the house, you went out with your girlfriends?
I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't even have dinner with my family.
At 21. That's the time when you partying and turning up.
Oh, no, ma'am. I don't... From the time I was 19 to the time I was 23, I didn't know what the inside of a club looked like.
Because you was with him.
Now, he knew what the inside of a club looked like. He knew what a house party looked like and all that, because he did what he wanted to do.
But you could. So my next thing, so let's build up to the second time when he, I guess, abused you.
Got off work, and I went to sleep because it was a long day. I woke up to water being thrown on me. And so when I jumped up, next thing I knew, I got elbowed in my jaw.
So he threw water on you and elbowed you fully, and you sleep.
Yep. And all I remember was, who is this person? And I'm trying to, because I'm asleep. I don't recall no conversation. Mind you, it was years. The conversation he was referring to was years before me and him had even had an opening conversation about even dating each other or talking. We're talking back and forth. I'm trying to explain myself, and then next thing I know, he's taking me by my ankles and he's dragging me out the bed, and I hit my head.
And this at age of 21.
And he's shouting. He's standing over me shouting, "You made me do this. This is your fault."
So he's deflecting to me, saying that you were the aggressor, saying you was the reason you provoked him, basically. So how would you provoke him into him abusing you?
At the time, I thought I did, because when...
But why would you think that?
My mental state. I thought because I was dealing with that type of abuse that's what I deserved. I didn't know no better. 21, fresh out of high school. This was my first real boyfriend.
So you thought that was love?
Because I had never seen anything else.
All right, we got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. So that's how you identified as love. How so?
Growing up, I heard a lot of the men in my family talk down to their women. Never seen anybody physically hit their women, but I did see a lot of verbal abuse. So the stupid and all of that, I thought that was normal. So I didn't take that as abuse. I just took it as, okay, this is his way of showing how he feels about me. Whether it was at the time love or however he felt. I just thought that's what a man was supposed to do in a relationship.
So it went from verbal abuse to physical abuse. So how did it transition from just verbal to him actually laying his hands on you? Because, we talked about the trying to snatch your phone, embarrassment, things of that nature. But I guess when did we get to that point when it was just all out war and it was like, this it?
We were sitting on the couch, and he went outside, and I went in the bedroom, and so I heard the door shut after I thought he had went outside, but he actually was still in the house. Then a couple seconds later, the door shut again. So I actually went to the door and locked the door thinking he had came back in, and I accidentally locked him out. So 5 seconds later, I get a banging, like it's almost like somebody's about to kill me type of bang at the door. And I go and unlock the door, and it's him. When I opened the door, he punched me in the face. We were tussling in the living room, and he reached into his back pocket, and he had a gun in his hand. and he shoved it because my mouth was open because I saw the gun. So I literally just froze, and he shoved it into my mouth.
He shoved a gun into your mouth.
And I remember just literally clenching my arms and my hands together because I just knew that was it. I knew this was it. This was gonna be my last day on this earth. And he pulled the trigger, and it locked. And so once it locked, he kind of laughed. And I thought, okay, yeah, this gotta be it. This the end.
You got an angel watching over you, girl, because
Right.
that would have been the end for most women. You wouldn't been here to tell this story right now.
So then he left out, and he came back. I waited until he went to sleep, and I ran to my coworker's house, who actually lived in the apartment behind me, and I called my dad from her phone, and I asked my dad to come and get me.
So was this the actual time when you was like, I'm done?
That's it.
So why do you think women stay in these type of relationships?
Low self-esteem. No thought of, I deserve better than this. Because at the time, this was what I was used to. Even after I left, something was still trying to pull me back, because there were times that I actually saw him, even after we quit talking.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Convos on the Rocks. So before we get up out of here, we got to wrap up this story. So what advice can you give other women who may have been involved with a domestic relationship?
Know the signs, because there are signs. Verbal abuse. And it starts off with verbal abuse. So any indication of verbal abuse, cut it. It's easier said than done. Confide in, it doesn't have to be a friend, but confide in somebody. Call the police, because we find ourselves in the habit of wanting to protect our abusers, and that's not okay.
Well, Miss Sierra, I want to thank you for joining me on Convos on the Rocks on my little debut show. But girl, I want to salute you for becoming a survivor.
Yes.
Right, and you are a boss girl now.
Boss chick.
Make sure y'all follow her on all social media platforms. Give them a shout out.
Yes,
real quick.
at the Therapeutic Therapist, and then also on Facebook, The Therapeutic Therapist.
Ooh, we got to cheers to that, girl. And we got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Ooh.
Yeah, whatever.
Welcome back. It is time for Rock's IG Clown of the Day. Do y'all not understand? Y'all leave these fast food workers alone. This one lady went in McDonald's and basically trying to give the people the business over some chicken nuggets, some messed up Happy Meals. But what happened? She got bopped in her face with a blender. Oh, you heard it, a blender. She went flying back like it was like on Mortal Kombat. All because somebody messed up her chicken nuggets. It's the way you talk to people. And that's all you got to do. Leave these fast food workers alone. They just trying to make a living just like the rest of us. We'll be right back. Every 20 seconds, a woman is involved in a domestic relationship. Do not become a statistic. You can turn your life around like my guest today. Do not lose your life for the sake of love or for the sake of saying, I got a man. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to Convos on the Rocks.
You don't know.